Ladies and gentlemen, and hockey fans of all ages, welcome back to another edition of Randy Talks Hockey. My name is Randy Dillon. The NHL season, it is 44 days away from the start of the 2019-2020 season. We're so close there, hockey fans. We just gotta hang on for a little bit more. Once we get through August, in a week or so, September, then we got training camp. Then we got preseason. We can start watching some hockey, and then October over here, then the good stuff get rolling. Not much news to report on this week. What has happened? The RFA, the class of the RFAs, still waiting for contract guys like Brock Besser, Mitch Marner, Matthew Tkachuk, Braden Point, Patrick Lyon, Kyle Connor. I think will really get picked up in September because training camp will be around the corner. Preseason will be happening. Teams want to get these guys playing so they know what they're doing. They already have their spots, but still, some time off training camp can really hurt, especially if they wait like William Nylander. He just couldn't get it going at all in the regular season. So we'll see if some of these players or all these RFAs will get signed to contracts here soon in September, the day right before the regular season. There was a tweet that I want to talk about quickly here. It was a tweet from Hockey 9 Canada, Sportsnet, NHL insider Elliot Friedman. He tweeted out saying he most likely in hearing that Jim Benning has been given an extension by the Canucks. We all know he was on his final year of his deal. He has moved a lot, did a lot of moving to help the team get better, make the playoffs, because ultimately he knows maybe if they don't make the Canucks don't make the playoffs, he's going to be out of the job. We'll wait and see to get the official word. If you get my input on the situation as a Canuck fan, yeah, I think Benning has done a good job this year to improve the team, but we'll have to wait and see, because one thing to be good on paper, another thing to get it all together. And are they good enough to make the playoffs? The Pacific Division is a little bit faulting, but you still have some good teams. Who knows? We'll wait and see. All right, we are getting to this situation of which NHL team got better this offseason and which NHL team did not. Last session, we ended off talking about the New York Islanders. From Long Island to Brooklyn, we are going to go to downtown New York, Madison Square Garden, Broadway, and talk about the Rangers. The Rangers, I think, are an improved team. They made a number of moves to make them better. It started off with the draft, drafting Kakko Kake second overall, the young Finnish winger. I think he's going to be a great young player. The reports are saying he's ready to get in the lineup to start off. He could be projecting 50, 60 points, maybe 15, 20, 25 goals. Who knows? The Rangers did improve their back end. They got defenseman Jacob Trouba in a trade with the Winnipeg Jets. Then they signed Trouba to a 7-year deal, cap hit of $8 million per year. Now, a lot of people could say, is Trouba worth that? But he is a good young defenseman. He'll get the chances in New York, where Winnipeg, he was playing behind Dustin Byfuglien, Josh Morrissey, playing alongside Tyler Myers. We'll see what happened. And then the big thing, they signed Artemi Panarin, the bread man. We all knew he wanted to go to a big market city. Doesn't get any bigger than New York. The Rangers do look good. However, the only question could be Henrik Lundqvist. He is getting up there in age. He is going to be hitting 30. He is 38 right now. The question is for Lundqvist is, can he still play that high level? Well, last year he did have a goal against a little bit over 3, so he'll need to get that down. But the big question is going to be for the Rangers, going to be the backup goalie, the Bulgarian netminder Alexander Grushevic. He played 30 games, went 14 and 13. It'll be interesting. Is he going to get more games? Can his numbers improve? Can he give the Rangers a much better chance to win a net? Who knows? But the Rangers right now, they do look better. We are moving on to the city of brotherly love, talking about the Philadelphia Flyers. Chuck Fletcher, first offseason at the Flyer GM, and he did not disappoint. He made a number of moves. He bought out defenseman Andrew McDonald, traded defenseman Racco Gudas, and he filled those holes pretty nicely. He added defenseman Matt Niskanen in a trade with the Washington Capitals. He added defenseman Justin Braun with this trade from the San Jose Sharks that they were in a cap crunch. So right there, you look at that defense. You add Niskanen and Braun already to a young, good defense core, and Ivan Provorov, Robert Hagg, Shane Gostisbehere. That looks pretty good to me. And then up front, they added Kevin Hayes. We know how much money he got, like $7 million for the next number of years. I still don't agree he's worth that. But as a legitimate number 2 center, he'll take the pressure off Claude Giroux. He'll help out develop Nolan Patrick possibly a little bit better and not putting so much pressure on him. And the big thing was they added a new head coach, Alain Vigneault. We know what Vigneault's done around the league. He did a great job at Vancouver, winning a Jack Adams, taking the Canucks to the Stanley Cup final in 2011. With the Rangers, he took them to the Stanley Cup final in his first year in 2014. So the Flyers, I do agree, they are better than what they were last year, and they have improved in this offseason. The big question will be goaltending for the Flyers going forward. Is Carter Hart ready to take the job, be a legitimate number 1? Because the Flyers haven't had that since Ron Hextall. And Flyer fans, you know this, since the late the 80s and the 90s. Hopefully Hart can answer those questions. From the city of brotherly love, we go to Steel City in Pennsylvania to the Pittsburg Penguins. The Penguins, I'm going to stray this, they are not better than what they have really got worse this offseason. They traded away defenseman Ole Mata, and that's a big loss there. And now in their defense, they have guys like Marcus Patterson. They have Chris Letang, Brian Dumoulin, Justin Schultz, and then Eric Brandon and Jack Johnson. These guys are playing your top 6. Not 1, but 2, you have a problem. And also, there's term left on these guys' contract. Brandon, 3 years. Johnson, 4 years. They are slow-moving defensemen. They're big bodies, but the Penguins, they won their cup on speed. So I'm worried for that defense right there. Up front, they traded Phil Kessel. They got Al Galchenyuk. He didn't do much in his first year in Arizona. His second team in 2 years. Now playing with Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin, he might be able to score. Who knows? But the Penguins' offense look good. You still got Crosby. You still got Malcolm. You still got Jake Gensel. You add the light of a young Jared McCann, possibly playing alongside Crosby and Malcolm. He can score. Horquist is still there. Big Nick Bukestad, the third line center, that might help them up. They did lose Matt Cullen, though, as he retired. Zach Aston Reese did resign. The Penguins, and the big question for the Penguins, are goaltending. I don't have enough faith in Matt Murray to say he's a legitimate number 1. He has struggled since Marc-Andre Fleury left. He got hurt. Casey DeSmith and Tristan Jarry have come in and played those games pretty well, but I think they got to play better, maybe push Murray if the Penguins want any chance of doing well next season. They might miss the playoff. I think Mike Sullivan, even though he got an extension, he is on the hot seat of getting fired. Who knows? But we'll wait and see what happens. We are going off to the Bay Area and talking about the San Jose Sharks. The Sharks, I'm going to unfortunately have to say, they did not get better this offseason after another disappointing end to the season where no Stanley Cup. They lost Joe Pavelski. They had to trade Justin Braun. They re-signed Erik Karlsson, but now you have paying a lot of money in guys like Karlsson, Byrne, and Vlasic. You got to hope these guys play well. I don't have enough faith in Martin Jones. They did get Timo Meier re-signed to a 5-year deal, so at least that worried about. They don't have to worry for a while. Now, the good thing was Kevin LeBlanc, he did sign a 1-year deal worth $1 million, taking a hometown discount, no doubt about that. The big question for the Sharks, though, is going to be Martin Jones. Is he going to play better than what he did last year? He was ferocious, and if he doesn't, I think the Sharks are in deep trouble. Joe Thornton has not signed yet, but I think he's going to come back with Patty Marleau on RFA after getting bought out by the Hurricanes, getting traded from the Leafs to Carolina to being bought out. Wow, that's a mouthful. Is he going to come back to the Bay Area? The rumor was he wanted to come out back west, but the Sharks know they're very limited in money. They need some other young players to step up. Doug Wilson has done a good job in making sure the team competitive, but I feel like the signing of Erik Karlsson to that long-term deal might be the straw that breaks the camel's back there. But if he can put up 80 points and Burns can put up 80 points, That might be good enough to help the Sharks. Who knows? All right, the last team we are going to talk about today are the Stanley Cup champion, the St. Louis Blues. It was a summer of glory for them. The Blues didn't have much off-season loss. They have the team together except Patrick Maroon. He has not signed yet. He hasn't signed anywhere. A lot of their RFAs are signed up. The one RFA left to sign is Ivan Barbashev. He was a big part in the Blues' run to the Cup. Now the big question for the Blues, are they better or worse than what they were last year? I'm going to say wait and see. They didn't lose anyone. It's the same team. The big question is going to be, I think, is goaltending. We saw what Jordan Binnington did when he entered the league and playoff, but now he's going to have to start the full 82-game season. We know he's not going to play all 82 games, but he's going to be probably, I think, getting 50, 60 games. And if he struggles, I think that's going to be a problem. Jake Allen has shown last year his game really fell off, but who knows? Maybe he'll return to form, but I don't see that possible, though, for the Blues. Binnington is the guy, but his play is going to be an important factor on the Blues' success. The Blues right now, we're going to have to wait and see. That's all I got for you this week, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back next week to wrap up the rest of the NHL teams, hopefully, and maybe some other breaking news we can talk about. My name is Randy Dillon from Randy Talk Hockey. Have a good one, everyone, and always remember to watch some hockey.